Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Starseed horoscope for the 11th of November. Whoosh, whoosh. This is the Peace Dealer, and happy full moon. We are enjoying a lovely full moon in Taurus. Fun fact. This is the strongest full moon that we're having this year. You could argue that the full moon in Aqua 4 months ago was the strongest, but being that Uranus is in Taurus and Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio, I'm going to give it to this one. I'm totally going to give it to this one. And congratulations. If you're watching this video, this is a sign that you've made it. You have made it to the next phase of this human evolution. And in order to really understand how much we're getting prepared to be thrown into literal light, you would have to understand that 6 months ago, we initiated this cycle in Taurus. In fact, if I'm correct, 6 months ago, around May, we saw Uranus entering Taurus for the first time. Maybe it was there before and it retrograded back, but we initiated a new moon cycle May 4th, 2019. Where were you May 4th? Of 2019. Jupiter had just went retrograde recently in Sagittarius. It was opposing Mars in Gemini, and they were both squaring Neptune in Pisces, which really did well to challenge initially your perception on what's real, being that, hey, supernatural abilities are coming from above or from within, your subconscious, but more importantly, establishing this unique sense of strength within you. Well, it's been 6 months, which is due process for manifesting cycles, and we now see the moon back in Taurus. I hope along the way you've disappointed expectations, you've pissed a lot of people off, and you've reminded yourself that truth in its essence is rebellious in a postmodern world where people live lies and, the truth isn't as embraced. During this 6-month process, you may have experienced that there is a greater resistance to bearing a real sense of your authenticity. This doesn't have to mean that everyone hates you, because remember, most people are fake. So a lot of people who hate you will act like they like you. That's just because they're weak. But this is finally reaching a culmination point where 6 months of great establishment, because we have to keep it real here. The sun conjunct the moon conjunct Uranus in Taurus was a brand new cycle. Whenever we have conjunctions, they are cycles that are initiated. And the whole purpose of this new cycle was to manifest the greater light sparked within us that was instituted by Uranus and Aries. So we have to go back even further, because 2009, 2010 came around, 2011, and we had Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Pisces. So before Uranus went into Aries, we started a Jupiter cycle conjunct Uranus in Pisces, which was meant to really evolve and quantum shift the nature of our imagination. Everything that is created has some measure of source from our imagination, from what we visualize. And this was working on your inner world to prepare the expansive quality with which you can now convert what's inside and manifest it outside. Peter Parker Superman skills. Okay. This is that day, not even that week. Today is that day where you experience definitive breakthrough when it comes to supernatural abilities. And I have to pinpoint this to superpowers because when we talk about Uranus, I'm breaking it down for you guys. So if you're Sun Soul, y'all are Sun Soul TV. I don't think anyone else is getting the breakdown that you guys are getting, because I've never really sat down. Everything up until this point is just me doing lives to facilitate, because I'm a messenger. So it's like I'm one of the angels that are a part of this development for humanity, and to look at it in the big picture is too much. So we break it down through weeks, transits, and we get you through there. But let's rewind and really see in perspective what's been occurring, because a lot of it has been so subtle, and you have to remember, we all live real lives. Of course, by Pisces season, you'll see how real this real life is. But, okay, we had an amazing last decade. Uranus went through Aries. It was squaring Pluto. There were revolutions everywhere, even if they weren't violent. Economic, social, political. And people were realizing that the old structures clash greatly with this burgeoning sense of authenticity. For example, while Uranus was in Aries, I became the peace dealer. I tapped in to an aspect of my personality that I can artistically express through the peace dealer, an agent of chaos that deals peace, because they are both on two different sides of the same coin. And this persona and identity represents my higher self. Uranus in Aries was the spark to make people conscious of the fact that they are super and that they have abilities. Hence, throughout that past decade, there was an explosion of psychic and intuitive gifts, especially around 2012, when Jupiter initially started this cycle proper, after it went out of Aries, after it came out of Taurus, and really came into the enlightenment side of Gemini. These gifts were already instituted when it was in Pisces, but then Jupiter went into Gemini, and a lot of people started awakening and were enlightened, like, oh, I have these gifts. It's not that you didn't have it then. It's just that time, 2012, 2011, 2013, you started to be more aware of what you always had. Very important. Now Uranus is in Taurus. So, for example, me as a peace dealer, I want you to put yourself in this example too, and how you have come in, whether you've developed a brand. It's not about, I came up with this name, but it's a sense of yourself that marks further spiritual evolution and progression. Spiritual pertaining to fire, Aries, breath, spirit, okay? Deeper understanding of your spirit in relation to your body. Ow, see? Neurons allow me to sense pain from electric impulses that come from my brain to my nerves. It's awesome, even though it kind of hurts. But I need this so that I don't put my hand on fire and burn it off because I don't feel it. So the reason why this is so amazing is because this, awareness of your spirit. Remember, science is reluctant to admit that spirits exist. And this postmodern fallacy is one of the things that get in the way of you understanding your abilities, because you don't have support. Remember, for the longest time, even up till now, to embrace abilities like this that are deeply unconscious coming up to our conscious, you need support. You need a support system. You need literature. You need research. You need literal research institutions to do case studies and test more so the legitimacy of these things, all of which through disinformation and subversive tactics have been hidden, destroyed, and directly bombarded with disinformation. And so the whole notion that your spirit exists outside of your physical material body is the whole notion of Aries going to Taurus. Hence, now that Uranus is in Taurus, after 9 years to a decade, this awareness of your spirit, which is non-material, which you can't weigh, okay, science will reluctantly continue to deny it because you can't see it. That's cute. Now it's manifesting in your physical body. Now I have merch, right? The peace deal is just an idea of who I am. Now it's coming more physical. I have merch. Same with Maru Matu. I have a Sun Soul TV shirt. Okay, I have a Neptune retrograde shirt. It's becoming real, right? It's now something we can experience with our five senses. And you know what a part of that's coming real? Superpowers. See, Uranus will go into Gemini 2026, and we're going to have such an adept cognitive understanding of this that everything we say warps reality instantly. Everyone's minds are connected with Pluto Aquarius. It's going to be very scary, but it's going to be very extraordinary. So we're not there yet because we still need to ground the essence of spirit physically to where it's tangible. Okay? This process has, of course, been going on, but this is important because throughout this decade, as Uranus was traveling through Aries, Jupiter was transiting through Aries to Libra. And then it went through Scorpio. And as it was transforming and ascending through Scorpio and Sag, Uranus, yo butt, went into Taurus. And now I need to explain why this is so important. Okay? Uranus transiting through Taurus is very key because for a large element of how you gain a practical sense of energetic, etheric, subtle energy influencing you is denoting a transformation of how you perceive this all. For example, astrology supports the truth that you have your physical vessel, but you have a consciousness that overlaps this physical vessel. It is for this reason you're not a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a physical human experience. And when you pass on, this consciousness that was locked down by your vessel is no longer locked down. It's released with the brain and the heart ceasing to function. And that breath, that final boom, your spirit is breathed out and you dip. Wisdom that comes now with Scorpio, that's the wisdom of death and transition, transformation. So keep that in mind because this is now bringing into account this lack of research. The point that I wanted to make before, we're supposed to have this. We don't have this. Listen, we're supposed to have this. That's why there's a whole lot of many of you who are aware of timeline jumpings and timeline shifts. It's very important to note now that the whole note, like we as a humanity, were supposed to have research into astrology. We were supposed to, by this point in our human development and consciousness, have open dialogue about superpowers, about Reiki, about energetic healing. This is supposed to be in our school. A lot of you are under the impression that it's your destiny to break this through. No, we've already had the Jungs. We've already had the Helena Blavatskys. We've already had the Manly P. Halls. They have fought hard. Some of you watching this from this older generation, you have put in work. It's been denied. You are a part of a spiritual war. So that's what I need to just break down. Like we're behind schedule because the dark forces are not playing. There is a monolith. There's a system of control that literally thrives off of us not being consciously aware of what we can do. And it's not really conspiracy. This is a fact. Many civilizations were organized and led by ruling authorities, right? Even back since the Council of Nicaea, where in order to syncretize the religions and put it under one umbrella, pagan authorities and pagan religions were just Christianized. This was for greater control. The advertisements, the developments of television in the 50s to the 60s and 70s that allowed for demon possession and impure, dark force possession to happen more. And that's not a conspiracy. That's not saying that TV was made to possess more people. It's not like that. It just so happens with greater technology, dark forces were able to infiltrate more. And it's just as simple as thinking that before there was radio or TV, you could not broadcast messages to everyone. TV, radio, internet allowed this, so people get possessed that instantly. And it's not a conspiracy. It's just logic. It's like, now I had to do this through mail. Now I could just make a video and spread a good or negative message like that. Okay. So with greater technology, there's greater risks. And it is during this period that the consequence of not having this support is manifesting in high suicide rates, greater depression, school shootings, more deaths, a lot more mental health issues, because people are having to bridge stuff that they were told over and over was not real. People are being diagnosed over and over that they're crazy when they are embedding and evolving new abilities that manifest themselves in hallucinations, visually or audio, but do not stay that way. And this is where, it's not all lost. Many of you watching this are on the front lines to circumvent this. We will still win. Victory is still ours. But it's very important to keep in mind, because now that Uranus is in Taurus, the cycle that we started with Uranus and Pisces, and Uranus and Jupiter in Pisces, is now reaching a climax, because Jupiter that was in Pisces is now in Sagittarius, and Uranus that was in Pisces is now in Taurus. Pisces is a very supernatural vibration, but it's subtle because you don't see it. You don't see the air you breathe. You don't really see the emotions you feel. You just see evidence of it. Taurus is manifesting physically, okay? But Sagittarius is ascending it. Sagittarius is the third mutable sign of perception that allows you to see through your third eye. Gemini is the lower mind. It's everything you see down below. Sagittarius is the higher mind. It's everything you see cosmically. This is why the galactic center is here. Being able to merge both signs allows you to see what's down here and to also see what's in the cosmos and bridge both, as above, so below. 2012 came. Jupiter was in Gemini. You were enlightened about what's going on in this world. And now it's in Sag, my friends. But guess what? What does Sagittarius do to Taurus? It transforms Taurus. Sagittarius is 8th house to Taurus, because Taurus could be fixed and rigid with their 5 senses. Sagittarius forces Taurus to see bigger than what's physical and to see into infinity and spirit. What I'm pretty much saying is, for the first time ever in centuries, decades, millennium, you are ascending into a higher mind that allows you to be aware at a higher dimension than just 3D, to utilize supernatural abilities that you've had since birth. And the reason why it is a dramatic, noticeable, tangible shift is because the groundedness of Taurus is being transformed through the fire and light of Sagittarius. In one quick month, it's not just a month that'll happen. That's what the whole transit was for. We transformed with Scorpio and now we're ascending. And then what's going to happen is, once we finish this cycle, by the end of December, right? By the end of November, Jupiter enters Capricorn. By the end of November, all this energy ascends to where you finally, for the first time in a lot of your lives, you get it. And then it's going to move into Capricorn, and then bam, it's time to practice it. It's time to do it. Yeah, you have these superpowers. Up until now, and it's just been an idea. Up until now, it's been a feeling, an intuition. Now you're seeing it. Now, I mean, the synchronicities I've had alone today, wow. But now it's going to, with seeing comes knowledge. And then, end of the year, boom. It's like a whole new cycle. Like, we're literally stepping into a different facet of this 21st century. But why is it? Because if it was just Uranus and if it was just Jupiter, this would just be the ability to see. This is not the ability to have the power. Why is there power? Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn, my friends. So now we have to talk about Saturn and Pluto. And Saturn was not in Capricorn since 1989. Before that, 1960. Oh my God. 1960, okay, Pluto was barely entering Virgo. 1989, Pluto was in Scorpio. 2019, Pluto is in Capricorn. Pluto is the depth of our unconscious, represented by Osiris, the underworld energy that bridges our psychological motivations, okay, reveals very accordingly what is real in this life, all right? And we're taking this energy now, finally, since 89, where it was in Scorpio, shout out to my fellow Pluto Scorpios, and it's ready to evolve into Capricorn. It's ready to evolve into Aquarius. Remember, the last time Pluto was in Capricorn, we had the Boston Tea Party incident, and revolution allowed things to set in place to where now I'm here talking to you. Revolution's coming up, my friends, a superpower revolution. I'm very proud to say that what makes this revolution greater than any revolution is this is the revolution of owning up to your abilities. Now more than ever, I can go out in public and be like, I can read your future. And you're not even supposed to read the future, right? But I can be bougie like that. I can read your cards. I can know who you are, right? I can do things textbook that are not supposed to be done. I literally had someone who was skeptical about this catch me in class, be like, hey, I never got to thank you for the astro report you did. That was very insightful. And I felt like I was being a part of change, like to really rid the wrongs that, see, you can't really blame the older generation that was shut off against this, because people's third eyes weren't as open. And so the disinformation was heavy. Disinformation. Subtleties in how people skew the truth of information to take facts but twist them to mean something different. You can't do that now. People see. There's internet now. So like you can come in with results instantly. Case studies could be peer reviewed instantly. So like, welcome to the future, my friends. And what we're headed into is the beginning of a more open disclosure of superpowers. Okay, be very careful because there's a deceptive side to this. Neptune is still squaring all the Sag. So you're going to be dealing with people who show you things, but they don't show you everything. Hey, look, I have superpowers, but they don't show you all about it. Like, just because someone shows you something magical doesn't mean it should be trusted, is what I'm saying. You still need to check for integrity. Capricorn, okay? What are people doing with that? What are the fruit people are bearing? You need to know this more than ever. You need to trust in yourself. I'm going in today. I didn't even plan. We didn't even get started with this, by the way. I didn't even break down like this is still just the prelude. We didn't even break down the 11th yet. We're not even close to that. Okay. Pluto is in Capricorn now, the most powerful zodiac sign. It's making physical all of this unconscious energy. It's making physical all this unconscious energy that's making you more aware of the fact that something's not right. Something's not right because what we've been taught is not what we're seeing, and it's now coming into an understanding. Because remember, we're now reaching a period where Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are going to be in the same sign. The last time that happened was in 81, 82, 83, where they were all in Libra, and then they all came into Scorpio. And now, after this, 2 decades, 3 decades, they're all in Cap. Do you know why? Because there is a greater evolution of your abilities. Even if we don't bring superpowers into this, people are smarter. People, whether you think so or not, because a lot of people say, oh, it was better in all of these. People are smarter. People can access information instantly, much quicker. People can communicate much better. People are more mature on social issues. That in and of itself is supernatural. We don't even have to bring in superpowers. This is just denoting the greater evolution. But you know why there will be superpowers? Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus, in relation to the quincunx that it's making to Jupiter and Sagittarius, is allowing you to ascend through this transformative understanding of spirit in relation to your body. It's a transit like this that's going to help you see clearly the difference between your physical vessel and your spiritual etheric body. We all have 2+ bodies, at least 2. You have your physical body, you have your spirit body. And I hate to be conspiracy theory, but there is a conspiracy behind you not accessing your spiritual body. There are higher forces that have chained you to just live this physical experience so you can be their slaves. But revolution is coming, and you feel this. You've known this your whole life. Some of you are having dreams about this. The North Node's in Cancer, bridging in this galactic power into the core of your soul so that these light codes can bridge in past life power into your DNA. Well, from your DNA into your soul, into your memory. Right. So congratulations, because if you're here, it's kind of like you're a part of an experiment, but you're also a freedom fighter if you're ready to do stuff about this. Because, yeah, people worldwide are going to awaken abilities more so than ever. But that is more of a bad thing than a good thing. Because if people without superpowers lied, cheated, killed, stole, having superpowers is not going to make them instantly good. And we're about to have a new set of problems. I hope that what I'm saying is almost out there. That's the energy. We're next to Aquarius, out there, space. So we are now in a position where the old world is dying. That's Saturn on Pluto. Like everything we thought we knew to be true is not as real as we thought, just due to experience, case study, edits, and life itself, where the only thing constant is change. So, I mean, Chiron has finally started in Aries. The transmuting healer in Aries is now starting a new cycle of the zodiac for superpowers. Like this is all geared to a distinct change in how you live life, to where you acknowledge that you have literal superpowers. There's powers, there's superpowers, there's supernatural transcendent powers. We are not, as a collective, at the transcendent part yet. We're developing our supers, okay? Where you can think deeper, where you can communicate faster, you can automatic write fluently. Whereas 2012, you were getting into it. Now it's just like, don't hide your abilities. When it comes into Sagittarius season, it's out in the open, whether you want it or not, okay? I'm not saying to reveal all your secrets, but just keep that in mind. A day like today is very important. But before I get into today, I want to just recap everything that I've spoken on so far. We have finished very important cycles. Neptune and Uranus, that was in Capricorn in 89. See, this is important because, like, when I talk about the fact that every single, like, that's the next major drama coming into Pluto in Aquarius, it's like, wow, like an event has occurred and, you know, someone's robbing a bank with their superpowers. What the fuck are we going to do? Like crazy shit. Okay. So like before I can kind of talk about how zany what I'm saying is, to some of you, it makes sense. Some of you have had superpowers. Some of you have incarnated from past lives with superpowers. So it's not new to you. To you, it's like been there, done that. Okay. But this is not happening overnight. This is not just because of one transit that humanity is having superpowers. No, we have been incubating this for decades. I mean, centuries. Okay. When Pluto was in Cancer, when your great grandparents had to go through this just to get you, just to give birth to your mom, to your grandpa, to your mom, and then you. It's all been a part of a process. But the major part of this process that instituted the direct evolution of this began from 60 to 89 and from 89 to 2018. From 60 to 89 was when you had the first waivers, the new age community starting to come out big, because at a deeply unconscious level, these wisdom and secrets came through. Very psychic people from that generation too. Every generation has their psychic overlords. Okay, I can't believe I just said overlords, but yes. So 89 specifically was when the children born who were meant to vanguard the superpowers at their greatest came into form. Mid to late 80s, 90s, you already know what it is. And now we're all of age. All the people born in the 90s, we're all of age. What do you know? It's time, Capricorn. It's time. Okay. And if you're born before the 80s, you've already awakened your superpowers. Now this is further mastery to help guide humanity and the next gen. We're going to be looking up to you because they didn't realize you've been hiding it from us because you're wise, because you were sworn to secrecy. You didn't want the government to kidnap you and test you. Yeah, I'm taking it there. So keep that in mind, because this was in Capricorn, Neptune and Uranus. Now Uranus, that was in Cap is in Taurus, and Neptune that was in Cap is in Pisces. Remember, a cycle began with Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, 89. That cycle has now since sextiled and trined and returned. This is so important. The seed of superpowers was instituted 89. Now it's come back around, right? To reap and harvest, throw the weeds in the fire and harvest the wheat. And Neptune that was in Cap is in Pisces, further extending this power through imagination to clairvoyantly and claircognizantly sense what is to come, what has happened. To us, it's the future. When people do psychic ability, they're not seeing the future, they're just seeing the ever-present present. We think it's the future, but it's actually the past to people in the future. It's weird. So keep that in mind, because now Uranus is in Taurus, manifesting through our hearts this supernatural seed that was instituted 89. And I could even go deeper. This is all documentary information where we can pinpoint events in society. Unfortunately, I don't want to make this too long, but this is very important because now Jupiter has ascended, and Jupiter going from Sagittarius to Pisces again, where it will eventually conjunct. And I think they're going to conjunct in Gemini, actually. This is important to see, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be after Aries. So that is where we finally complete this, and supernatural abilities are more open in society in general. For now, this is still a very personal thing because Uranus is in the individual quadrant, while as Sagittarius is in the universal collective quadrant, not the social, but the collective, to where we start to transcend. So that is really the explanation for why as soon as now into next month, you are going to be seeing undeniable, seeing. Okay, so like when it was in Gemini, you had your superpowers, but you're going to see it. Remember, you're fighting everyday doubt in your own potential. Dark forces are making you not believe in yourself, because a lot of your superpowers are very much so dependent on your sense of confidence in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, the better. Know that it's not a coincidence that at certain stages of your development, you go through things where people make you doubt yourself, where you're caused to feel insecure. It's gang stalking at its finest. But you don't want to think about this linearly as people. People are only vessels for higher energies, because you are not just a human. You have a cosmic self. This human version of yourself is the lowest part. You're thinking you want to invert it. You're not here looking up. You have a cosmic self, and you're the crystallized point at the bottom experiencing it. But this is not all that's you. You're way bigger than this. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. But the lie was to make you feel like this is all that's it. Once you die, it's over. There's nothing more than this. You're just in this material suit. There's just this brain. Okay. You don't have any other higher aspects of yourself. That's a lie from the pits of hell. It's meant to control you. It's meant to keep you materialistic. It's meant to make you just be a consumer, buy shit, come up with some version of meaning, and then you pass without ever realizing you could astral project. You can jump through dreams. You can telepathically connect. There's a reason why now this is the time where this is ready to awaken. And the reason why you will see this and transform your vision around what's physical is because you're transforming Jupiter and Sagittarius, your vision, right? 8th house to Taurus around what's physical, Uranus and Taurus. Some of you will literally be shooting electricity from your fingers. So it's not that something is going to happen where you suddenly have superpowers. It's that events are going to occur that make you more aware of abilities you've always had, of energy that's always been there. And remember, some of you have energy in these upper echelons. So you've been seeing it since birth. Your issue is other people have made you feel crazy for basically being cool and supernatural. Supernatural equals weird. So let's get into this. Now we can get into today, because a full moon like today is instituting the completion of this new cycle of transformation, to where for the first time ever in your life, you are throughout the next 2 weeks, starting today, the 11th I'm shooting this on the 10th. But for the 11th, manifesting physically deeper wisdom around what you have always been able to do. Clap for yourself, because it's taken a while to get here, and you truly deserve everything that you have worked hard, the internal work. Because in order to really get to this, you had to clear out subconscious pain, clear out old mental blocks, clear out emotional blocks. It's not as simple as just doing superpowers. It's more so an integration of enhanced capability in your normal function, which had to be defined by your normal lifestyle. Then it'll be overlaid through this. Then, see, because the next stage, the reason why we're awakening superpowers isn't so that we can just fly around and do cool shit. The purpose of these supernatural abilities is to connect us to our super conscious minds so that we can use these enhanced abilities to connect into higher dimensions, upgrade the sense of living, and to now support astral and cosmic travel to where people teleport to different like galaxies. I know, abstract concept, but Pluto will be in Aquarius, and this will not be so abstract in less than 5 years. So let's go to the chart and see a lot clearer what this energy is going to bless us with accordingly. So as you can see, we have Mercury retrograde on the sun in Scorpio, Uranus retrograding with the moon here, and Venus, which is also key, here in Sagittarius. I'd like to note that we have very important duos. We have Mercury and the Sun, we have Moon and Uranus, we have Venus and Jupiter, we have Saturn and Pluto. Okay. We could even count Mars and Chiron because they're opposite. But this is very important. First of all, Uranus is a very crazy planet. Some will say it's evil because this is the original protogenoi that basically tried to kill its own kids before Saturn tried to kill its own kids. It runs in the family, guys. I swear, it's weird. It's weird. Fucking Titans. But this is very important because when we take into account the power of Chronos and how it's been setting the time for this development, Uranus is in a zodiac sign of the individual, and it is drawing up from the core of your unconscious eccentricities that manifest the uniqueness of your identity. I don't know if you know, but there's only one you. There are only certain things you can know because you're only you. And so you are bridging an internal understanding of your own physical eccentricities that only you can know. And true to Uranus and what it represents, Aquarius, it's going to be weird. It's going to be fucking weird. In fact, everything moving on from now is going to be progressively weirder and weirder. So keep that in mind, because and mind you, this is why this energy, King Kungsing Libra, is socially awkward, because you have the social energy of Libra, King Kungsing and squaring Cap and Taurus, and it's inhibiting social function in an effort to clash with what is traditional norm versus an emerging uniqueness that seeks to literally rebel against all that bullshit. So really keep that in mind, because you have people who are so terrified of being themselves because they don't want it to look weird. Well, those people are called losers, and I'm only calling them losers because they are losing out on the authenticity that is to be gained by not giving a single fuck if you're weird or not. Because the whole concept of what is considered weird and strange is changing forever. Normal has died ever since Pluto entered Capricorn. I'm gonna just be real. In fact, normal never existed. It's easy for someone like me to say this. Part of my incarnation is outside of this reality. I'm only here to infiltrate it. But a lot of you are dealing with others who gaslight you and psychologically reinforce negatively your positive expression of uniqueness. And you don't have to take that seriously because it's meaningless. What's meaningful is every single time you decide to honor the budding authenticity and uniqueness that is going to be weird. I have to reemphasize, this is going to be weird as shit. Like, if you're not feeling socially awkward, if you're not feeling a little bit awkward, you're not doing it right. You're probably still hiding in a comfort zone so that you look a certain way to society. There's no one who's not going through this, and you're going to win by fully embracing these eccentricities. So this is not just a full moon. This is a full moon that completed a new moon cycle, and Mercury traveled with Venus to escort it to Sag, retrograded back, and has now caught up with the sun. And this is so important because this full moon cycle is allowing proper processing. The sun is just awareness. That's why it aligns with babies, right? The sun as awareness is just a newborn. It's just like, oh, go, go, oh, go, 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 it's just bumbling awareness. The reason why you're not a fucking baby and you can actually understand and read what it is you're aware of, you can thank Mercury for that. Mercury serves the king. Mercury is what allows you to be aware of all this and be like, okay, that's a number, that's a symbol, that's a headphone, that's a microphone that I knocked over. I actually need this to talk. Mercury, okay? And this is allowing you to communicate what you're aware of. But in Scorpio, at the depth of your core, also revealing the fake asses in your life and the fakeness within yourself, if you have any, which you need to rid of, say real, and just around you, because Scorpio is pure. This is almost giving Mercury and Scorpio a magnifying glass into the depth that with the full moon here is bridging out over the past 2 weeks to take what is at your core and pull it up to the physical. Through Uranus, that is quantum shifting this. Uranus keywords is also transformation, but also awakening. The great awakener. Pluto awakens too, but in the sense where it kills you. Uranus awakens in a sense where it shocks you. Shazam! Oh, crap. Oh. So keep that in mind. It is through this cycle that has now initiated on today the path and road to ascension. Because 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a new moon in Sagittarius, conjunct Jupiter. I know. We've waited for this our entire existences. I mean, some of you are reincarnated from past lives, from hundreds of years ago. You waited for this. It's been years in the making. And this is going to note an acceleration of human consciousness like never before seen. The only other thing to make, the only other event that'll be just as inducing of conscious acceleration is when Uranus is in Gemini and Jupiter conjuncts Gemini and then also opposes it in Sag. Jesus Christ! You're going to be seeing spirits more so if you're not already. Okay? This is not to, considering what I said earlier, deny scientific research as it portrays the exposing of fraudulence through the vehicle of psychic arts. It is a well-known fact that a lot of con men and frauds act like they have psychic power, act like they have abilities, and they don't. And I think it's amazing how scientific literature has helped to expose this. That does not excuse the fact that there's a denial of authentic psychic ability. That does not excuse the fact that they have used the pinpointing of frauds to overlap that with authentic psychic ability and to say that, see, since there's frauds, that means that psychic powers don't exist. That's not true. That's like me saying, oh, see, since this scientist is a quack, that means that science isn't true. No, science is very much still very true, even though science is just a knowledge of something. Biology, physics, they to a degree have some truth in them. It's not conclusive. It's not complete, despite what, scientists will tell you. No scientific finding is conclusive. It's only conclusive and complete relative to our understanding and perspective as human beings. Remember that. There's absolutely no scientific finding, despite certain constants and like laws that are really conclusive. They're only conclusive based on our perspective, our limited perspective as a human being. If you were to present our scientific findings to higher cosmic entities, which do exist, which we experience as cosmic laws and forces, they would, first of all, laugh. Second of all, they would understand it way different. So keep that in mind. What we have discovered is real to us, but is not true. And it is a period like this that allows you to see further, that will now fill in the gap with what you've been lied to, or what science and presiding authorities have fed to your consciousness as you transform your diet, baby. Can I just say this once again? Congratulations. Chiron is 1 degree Aries. Like, the fact that it's cleared Pisces, it's cleared 12 signs. That was an old cycle that healed every single facet of your conscious just to prepare for this evolution of supernatural execution. Supernatural meaning that the actions you take surpass your basic physical limits and help you transcend to the next level. In other words, many of you have an evolution form. Many of you have a state of focus that you can enter when you're serious and get shit done. Well, you're about to enhance that like never before. You're not going to need pills. You're not going to need supplements. You're not going to need anything outside of yourself. It's going to incorporate a deeper understanding of abilities and skills you may have never known because you've been lied to about it. It's been hidden from you until it's meant to be revealed. And also, Pluto enters 21 degrees. Congratulations, my friends. As we step into the 3rd decan of Capricorn officially, I can safely say that everything moving forward from specifically today is the further manifestation tangibly and physically of your supernatural power that is going to lead into a supernatural evolution into the superconscious. And you have everything to thank yourself for making it through here, even down to Mars and Libra, that as we have this full moon cycle challenges you to take classic and authentic action, incorporating these powers socially towards other people. It's Mars and Libra that's wanting you to use these powers directly with other people so that they can be like, oh, that's your power? Oh, I have a power too. Oh, you're a Sagittarius? Oh, you're a Leo? You have fire-based powers? You can make fire happen? Well, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Cancer. I have water powers. See how they complement and clash with each other? And it's like you couldn't have done that if you were hiding in a corner afraid of expressing yourself. Now, this fear is not unwarranted. It's squaring Pluto. It's squaring Saturn. There are consequences for doing this. But are you going to let those consequences and fears stop you? Or are you going to be the badass that you are and awaken these fucking superpowers? You're a badass. I know you're going to do that. So congratulations. Neptune is retrograding back into 15 degrees, and the perfect sextile it's making to Saturn during this full moon is further proof that what is physically instituted is drawing on and manifesting into supernatural, etheric, otherworldly vibrations. Because if you're not aware, your imagination is a portal to other worlds, to other universes, to other realms that you don't have to travel there physically with your body. But it's cool because all these abstract concepts are not going to be abstract anymore. There's going to be literature. People are writing books already. All the work is happening right now. The evidence is now finally manifesting. And I'm going to end this off with probably the most important aspect, the North Node. Are you sincere with this? How do you personally really feel about all this? Something that at the end of this week, you'll have much more clear understanding after it goes through Gemini and you enlighten this understanding. But my friends, remember, 4 degrees is break down and break through. And what's breaking down is your understanding of how you physically live your reality. Because Jupiter and Venus through your heart is allowing you to ascend to a higher state of living. Sagittarius has been living this. You guys have just been calling them an Aquarius crazy. You guys have been calling Pisces delusional, but they've been knowing what's up. Okay? Hey y'all, what's up? Shout out to Just Hilarious. So keep that in mind. You're going to be seeing higher. You're going to be seeing, you're not going to be liking everything you're seeing, especially with Venus and Sagittarius that's showing you the romantic potential you have with platonic and romantic friends. the square to Neptune is warning you against believing in false promises. Someone can show the whole Neptune square Pisces thing is like a Craigslist or an Airbnb scam. It's like on the front of the place, it looks beautiful, right? You can see that this house looks beautiful until you go inside and it's fucking trash. So don't be fooled. You have to have discernment, okay? Don't believe just anything you see. You have to make sure you feel the vibes. You trust your intuition, because the most important part about this full moon is that Mercury and the sun is making a direct trine to Neptune. You are ready to see beyond. You're ready to feel beyond. You're ready to go beyond. So if you believe that you have superpowers, first of all, this is not really about having superpowers. I should say, if you believe that you are at one with the universe, if you believe that we are all connected, but screw that, I'm going to make this about superpowers. Superpowers are so cool. If you believe you have superpowers, I want you to write down, oh crap, I want you to write down, hold in your heart, what is that superpower? It doesn't have to be just one, okay? Yeah, you can fly. Yeah, you can stop time. Yeah, you can shoot laser beams out your eyes. But the best superpowers of all time is a superpower to be patient. The superpower to be kind to a motherfucker you want to slap in the face. The superpower to be compassionate. The superpower of love. There are no greater superpowers than that. All right? So a lot of people might be looking for, oh, how come I can't fly? How come I can't this? But you don't even realize throughout all these years, you've developed a patience within your heart that allows you to deal with even the most evil people and still inspire them with love. That's supernatural. If you can make someone who is a serial killer actually now turn a leaf, you don't need to fly. You have a superpower of love. So just keep that in mind. That sounds kind of corny, but that's not to say you won't be achieving telekinesis, but you need to have these fruits of the spirit first to enhance your ability to do so. What is your superpower? I want you to feel it. I want you to know it. Because from now until the time Saturn is in Leo, 17 years from now, by the time Saturn's in Leo, you will have mastered these superpowers. So this is not about superpower mastery. This is just about superpower manifestation. Some of you will know that you've already mastered it, but in 17 years, you're finally taking it to the next level where you've been there, done that. Okay, so just remember, this is not all about knowing everything about your powers. It's about knowing you have it and defining the values with how you're going to take this further. So feel it, know it, and moving from today, be it and do it. You guys are so amazing. I'm always honored to be able to do these with you. Once again, it's one of the best horoscopes I've ever done. I always go in for Sun Soul. Shout out Maru. All right. Shout out Deanna too. Appreciate you. And you guys stay blessed as always. This full moon is, if we think of cycles, the new moon plants seeds, the full moon reaps the harvest. You are reaping the harvest of this new cycle of transformation. Well, what are you manifesting? Manifestation is second house. What is the second house to the Scorpio sun? Jupiter and Venus and Sag. You are manifesting higher vision when it comes to making real conscious sense, third house Capricorn, of your superpowers. Congratulations. You will find that up until this point, you've been prepared for this. You will find that up until this point, your subconscious has been putting you in scenarios where you do it without anything happening, just to prepare you so that you do it, it'll feel so natural. You can thank Uranus and Taurus for that. And even though there's so much more I want to say, the main message that I want to say is believe in yourself. Remember, this is not about good, bad, right, and wrong. It's about being real or fake. So you're going to have all sorts of people come up with their value judgments, come up with their feelings about you, even though they're cowards and they'll never confront you to your face because they don't want that smoke. But you're going to have people have these feelings towards you. You're going to have people talking behind your back more than ever. You're going to have people purporting whatever deception. You're going to have people who have strong feelings against you and against certain things you do. None of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. If it really mattered, they would have a heart to heart with you. They wouldn't look at you from afar or look down at you as if there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's everything wrong with them. That's why they're projecting it on you. Okay? That's not to say that you don't have aspects you need to work on, but it really doesn't matter. You just need to be real. And don't let these countering influences stop you, because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of you reaching your potential. They're afraid of you seeing what it is you can really do. Okay? And you don't have to deal with that bullshit at all whatsoever. Okay? Embrace who you are. Love who you are. And congratulations, my friends. Congratulations, because you finally made it to a period where you're not being led by your synchronicities and intuition. You're walking hand in hand with them. And for those of you who have higher cosmic forces that guide you, this is around the time where they're going to reveal themselves to you, because with the light of Sagittarius, you can see them. Love over hate, my friends. Live and be great. And until next time, peace, baby.